There's a lot of things that make Montana great, from the mountains and lakes to some of the finest towns in the West. But what really makes this place special is you. Our communities are full of people who are working hard to build good lives and remarkable things. At Opportunity Bank, our passion is helping folks do just that. Together, we can make a good thing even better. Opportunity Bank of Montana. Stop by and see us or visit us online. Member FDIC.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
All right, Coach, I guess what was it like kind of having the holiday break and then getting back after it this week?
Well, it was great to get a couple of days off and have a little family time for everybody. Players had about a week off, which was great. And coaches, we had signing day and some of that, so we didn't quite get that off. But everybody got a few days, and I think everybody's excited to get back and get fully in preparation mode for the game.
What would you say is the main goal of this week before you travel and then have kind of all those other things next week?
Well, there's a lot of guys on staff that have done bowl preparations. That's what this is essentially, and we want to have everything in place before we go down there and then re-rehearse it. So we'll get a good week of work. We'll lift, we'll condition, we'll do all those things we need to do. And when we get down there, we'll redo it.
At what point do you start looking at South Dakota State? I'm sure as coaches you already have. At what point do you start implementing game plan for the players?
Really today.
Yeah.
Culture, we worked on it last week some. So the fundamental stuff in the plan is in, and then this week we'll get going on the situations and the specifics.
Mark Gronowski, South Dakota State's quarterback, a ton of experience. He's played in multiple national championship games. So how would you evaluate him?
He's a good player. I haven't, really delved into the personnel too much, but I don't think they've lost a game in a couple of years, so the quarterback's probably playing pretty good.
You mentioned, Coach, you've been in situations like this the last couple of years in the quarterfinals, but health was sometimes an issue. So I guess can you speak to some of the conditioning for this year's group, and why has this year been maybe better healthier than past years?
Well, you could say we're just more fortunate this year, but we've actually hit a lot more this year and stayed healthier through the season. So we hit a lot more in the spring and the fall than we did the previous 2 years. And I don't know if we're accustomed to hitting, so we're staying healthier. That would be fairly unscientific, but it's a fact. So I don't know. We took it off them and didn't hit as much the last couple of years. We couldn't stay as healthy. So, I think we could have been sitting here in 21 and 22 potentially if we'd stayed healthy, but we didn't. So it was certainly productive for us to be.
And that conditioning strength coach with Dan Ryan, just how much has that also helped you guys too, and just seeing some of that work pay off just kind of over the years as well?
Well, there's a reason why we lift weights. One of them's for the competitive advantage. The other reason's to try to stay healthy in a physical game. And I think Dan does a great job. Our weight room's certainly not broken.
I got a chance to catch up with Robbie this morning, and obviously we talked to you a little bit about his coaching, getting that started and whatnot, and all that stuff. So from your perspective, what was it like seeing your son kind of follow in the family tradition, getting to coaching, and start off so hot with the D1 college program too?
Well, I tried to talk him out of it, but his mother thought he'd be good at it, so she was full support. He's off to a good start. I think that he's done a nice job through his first year. He had a great opportunity at Portland State. I thought those guys did a good job coaching those guys, so hopefully he's contributing to that.
He was here, obviously, when you made the national championship runs before, but to have him here after that North Dakota State game, you guys had a big, long embrace. Just what was that moment like? I'm sure you maybe got to enjoy it a little bit more over Christmas while he was here. Just how cool was it to have him here for that moment?
Well, it was great. It was great fun to have him here. It was great fun to have a lot of friends and family. And, our coaches' families, they're invested in this almost as much as our coaches are. So it was great to share that with everybody, and obviously my son was fun. My daughters were down there. It was great.
when you had the signing day? Obviously you're still going. You're not being able to, just chill and travel and stuff. So what are maybe some of the positives and negatives to still going during this time when it comes to recruiting?
Well, there aren't any negatives, but there's some things that become more difficult in terms of the recruiting. With the playoff games and now travel and prep for the championship game in the transfer portal window, it really cuts into our ability to bring guys in on visits. In fact, it basically cuts it out. So we're having to do a lot of that without having guys in on visits, and you hope that the success on the field will counterbalance that somewhat.
Have you or a loved one been charged or accused of a crime? If so, the stress can leave anyone feeling helpless and alone. But you don't have to be alone. Hi, I'm Dave Maldonado, and I've successfully defended Montanans for over a decade in these situations. So if you're tired of being scared, let's get you prepared. To see how, visit BigSkyDefender.com today.
You are not alone. Visit BigSkyDefender.com to find out more on how you can fight back against local and federal criminal charges.
Any crossover with South Dakota State's coaching staff? And what have you thought of them just transitioning since Coach Stiglmeyer retired? Because he was there for like 30 years.
Yeah, Coach Stig was the guy I knew the best.
Yeah.
Knew him fairly well. I actually watched the FBS championship with him last year, after the day after he won the FCS championship. So, we've paid attention to these guys. We don't have a bunch of crossover with them. We haven't played them in a while, and we've seen them on film though. We know all about them.
I know you probably haven't looked much at last year's South Dakota State team, but it looks like they're pretty similar. How much do you think consistency is within a program can help when you go through a coaching transition?
Well, I think having, you win the national championship and then you have that number of starters back, that's probably a good deal. The continuity is, having a great team that didn't lose a game and then having a bunch of starters back, that helps. And there's a reason why they're undefeated right now. They're good.
You've gotten into national championship games undefeated, and you've got in with a single loss as well. Just compare and contrast those two things.
I don't think there's really any difference, if you're the 1 seed or the 2 seed in terms of the aspect of the playoffs or home games or any of that sort. It's all the same. I never really thought of it that way. You're just preparing for a game, and the thing that I would get to is I would say that when you're playing in this game, the guys on the other side are good. There's no way around that.
Coach, do you have a favorite Christmas present this year?
Shoot, I don't act like an ingrate. I got some fishing gear. That's always good. So if you're looking to get me something, local fly shops probably got. Those guys probably know what I need.
Oh.
Coach, when you said you have a lot of guys that have done the bowl game prep, like what's been like maybe something that they've learned with this long break and the rust versus rest, and how you kind of go about attacking this long break?
Well, it's just the way of the world when you're getting ready for bowl games. For us, it's we never really got to prepare much for the championship games in the past. We squeeze in a couple of practices on short notice and get on the plane and go down there. So it doesn't to actually have film study and meetings and practices would be different for us, which I think hopefully be productive. There's a formula to it. Count back from the game, try to get a specific number of practices in, and like I mentioned earlier, you want to try to have everything in place before you get out, which was never the way for us before.
I know you said you haven't dived into personnel evaluation much yet, but what would you say just to the overall strengths of South Dakota State?
Well, they're a complete team. That's probably maybe the one thing is they're good everywhere. Starts up front. They're good on both fronts. I think the offensive line's terrific. I think the defensive line's terrific. My initial evaluation on them is that everybody's working in concert, and when you have that many returning starters, that veteran team, they understand what the other guys on their side of the ball are doing, so they play really well together.
Are we doing pursuit drill today?
We are. Period 3.
All right.
When you get to Frisco, you'll practice at the facility, or how does that work?
We'll have a practice place to practice.
Yeah,
We
okay.
won't do it in the stadium.
Okay.
Place to practice. We'll live, we'll practice, we'll do it. All good?
Yep. Good. Thanks, Coach.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes. Ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.